Good evening. You're watching a brand new week of Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, the NDA's ally, the Shiv Sena, steps up its opposition to the sharp hike in rail fares announced by the Modi government last week, even attacking the Achche Din slogan. As political opposition grows, should the centre stick to its stand and go ahead with this hike, or should there be a partial rollback? Also tonight, the jobs of the chief ministers of Assam, Maharashtra and Haryana may be on the line as the Congress tries to course correct after the coal debacle. But is changing CMs going to be the answer? Should the Congress leadership change start at the very top? But first tonight, we're beginning with the mess at Delhi University, where the admission process has now been put on hold after an ugly tussle between the university and the University Grants Commission over whether students should have a 3 or a 4-year undergraduate course. Principals of DU colleges have made it clear today that they will not go ahead with the admission process until the issue is completely resolved. And that is something that leaves lakhs of students in the lurch. My colleague Sonal Mehrotra has been following that story and joins me now. Sonal, this is a pretty big development today. It affects lakhs of students who've applied to DU. What can we expect next in terms of a way out of this mess?
Well, all eyes now will be on what the VC has to say because, as you rightly pointed out, the standoff is between the VC and the Universities Grant Commission until, this morning, 12 o'clock, the VC was supposed to write back to the UGC saying on whether or not he's rolled back the FIUP. We haven't heard from him ever since. So until the VC makes a stand clear, the principals cannot go ahead or even comply to what the UGC has told them to do. So principals have decided that until they hear from the VC, until they hear from the university, they can't go ahead with this admission process. Now, in all of this, what is the VC really doing? He has 3 options, we've been told, in front of him. Either he complies by the UGC order, which also comes with a lot of political pressure at this point, and follows up on a rollback on FIUP. In that case, we are, sources indicating that he will be resigning because it was his flagship program. He was under, a lot of flack from all quarters of Delhi University, the students, the teachers, and even the parents and various political parties for introducing the FIUP in such a haste in the first place. Option number 2 for him is if he sticks to his guns, really, the Vice Chancellor, if he sticks to his guns and writes back to the UGC saying that he will not roll back the FIUP, saying that it is an autonomous body at the end of the day, then we are hearing from our sources within UGC that they will be going up to the HRD ministry and asking them to intervene and basically asking him to vacate his chair. Option number 3, which is very probable at this point, as we are hearing from our sources within the VC office, that he is in consultation with his legal experts and could be taking a legal route. In that case, it's going to be a long, drawn legal battle. And as many of us have been worrying, the Delhi admissions could well go the nursery admission way. But in middle of all of this are hanging two sides really. One, those 60,000 students who are already enrolled in FIUP, what about them? And then lakhs of those who applied in the new term, not knowing whether it will be 4 years or 3 years.
Right. All right, Sonal, thanks a lot for that. Very worrying developments there. There is, as Sonal Mehrotra was saying, a real danger that this could go the nursery admission way here in the capital and could see an indefinite delay then in the admission process in Delhi University. Sonal, thanks very much. Well, we'll bring you more on that story a little later in the show, but the other big political story tonight that's developing, BJP ally the Shiv Sena stepped up its attack on the Modi government today over the massive hike in rail fares, saying the railway minister had run over the public. They even made a dig at the Achche Din slogan. 10 MPs of the Shiv Sena and the BJP from Mumbai and Thane will in fact meet Railway Minister Sadanand Gowda in Delhi tomorrow. But with the railways bleeding and a fare hike long overdue, the question is whether the political opposition is justified. Tejas Mehta reports.
मैं भी इस विषय से जब मैंने जानकारी ली तो सहमत नहीं हूं और इसलिए मैंने मेरी कल प्रतिक्रिया दी है। रेल मंत्री की भी मुलाकात करेंगे और मुझे पक्का भरोसा है कुछ न कुछ रास्ता निकल जाएगा।
First, slamming the Modi government for the massive railway fare hike, even demanding a rollback. Then in Samna, Shiv Sena's mouthpiece, BJP's oldest ally, making matters worse for them by saying the railway minister had run a train over the public by increasing fares. And then even sarcastically taunting Narendra Modi's Achche Din slogan, declaring the hike had burdened the Aam Aadmi. But then the Sena doing a U-turn.
उद्धव जी ने तो पहले दिन कहा है, ये शॉकिंग है, उनका स्टेटमेंट है।
तो यूटर्न नहीं है यहाँ कहीं भी,
ये कहीं भी यूटर्न नहीं है।
आप मानते हैं कि ये जो अच्छे दिन की बात थी इसकी भी आपने टिप्पणी की है थोड़ा सार्केज्म लाके, तो ये आने वाले हैं, आप मानते हैं कि ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया था?
थोड़ा ज़्यादा हुआ है और इतनी जल्दी ये बिटर पिल्स लोग हजम नहीं कर पाएंगे।
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley reiterated passenger services were subsidized by freight traffic, which too had come under pressure. The choice was clear, allowing railways to bleed or implement the decision of the then UPA government. If India wanted a world-class railway, then the decision was difficult but correct.
रेल मंत्री जस्टिफिकेशन देंगे जब बजट आएगा, तो वो सरकार के खिलाफ में तो हम नहीं बोल सकते हैं ना।
The opposition meanwhile continuing their protests across the country, even travelling ticketless in Mumbai. With elections around the corner in Maharashtra, Shiv Sena and even BJP's Maharashtra unit were perhaps only making the right noises. But with the Congress too now opposing a decision it allegedly refused to take when in power, is the demand for a rollback really justified? With Yogesh Damle in Mumbai, Tejas Mehta for NDTV.
And that really is the focus of the debate tonight, whether these demands for a rollback are justified, whether this is a hike that was long overdue and necessary to bring the railways in this country back to life. And there is, of course, so much politics behind all of this. So let me take my first question tonight to Sambit Patra, the spokesperson of the BJP, who's with us. Mr. Patra, you've heard what the Shiv Sena has said today. It's pretty scathing criticism. Of course, there are elections in Maharashtra very soon, but this is your oldest ally that has also taken a dig at the Achche Din slogan today, and now they're coming to meet the railway minister tomorrow. How does the BJP see this?
Nidhi, with all due respect to Shiv Sena, in fact, yes, they are one of our oldest allies, and that's why my respect is not lessened by what we are hearing today. They are entitled and we are committed. They are entitled in the sense, well, yes, in Mumbai they would face problems. It's but natural that when the fares are high, people would face problems. But as Mr. Arun Jaitley, the finance minister, has rightly put, it's a tough decision, but it is a correct decision, because the railways are bleeding. So the railways have to be saved. This is one of the most important things, and we are committed to save the railways of this country, one of the biggest networks of this country. Secondly, let me also remind you, I mean, when the interim budget was presented by the Congress government in February 12th, then there was, in fact, this hike was already brought in. Only thing was, it was not announced in the parliament. They had made a provision for extra amount of 20,000 crores in that interim budget itself. So in no way could we have stopped this hike. Only thing that the railway minister, Mr. Gowda, has done is withdrawn the countermand that Mr. Kharge did on May 16th. That is all. The technicalities have to be understood by everyone.
Why get into the technicalities at all? Because, you know, actually the reasoning for this railway hike, I think, is supported by many, you know, who understand the problems that the railways are facing and that the economy is facing and so on. So why not just own it? I mean, Mr. Gowda said the same thing. I only implemented what the previous government had already done. Just say that, yes, we've taken a decision, it's a tough decision, and we own it. Why talk about the UPA?
No, we are not disowning it anywhere. Didn't I reiterate what Mr. Arun Jaitley, the finance minister, said? He said that yes, it's a difficult decision, but it is a necessary decision. But the technicalities also have to be understood in the sense that provisions were made which were not there. So it's but natural, because people are asking this question, why did not you wait for the budget session? Our understanding in this is, since the decision was already taken, technically one has to understand that just the withdrawal of the countermand was done. It is not a new decision, but still we stand by the decision.
I'm getting MK Venu, the executive editor of the Amar Ujala group, in here. Venu, is that correct? That technically they couldn't have waited for the railway budget to do this? Or they couldn't have changed the scope of the hike?
Well, they could have waited for the railway, because now there is no railway budget now. This was 50% of the railway budget. Yeah. Because price hikes, changes in price of passenger fares and freight is a very important part of the railway. But quite apart from that, Nidhi, where is Narendra Modi, the great political communicator? We need him to now come on channels and publicly talk about subsidies, how subsidies in this country are distributed. Are they very skewed towards the middle class and less towards the very poor? I mean, these are things that he now needs to, like he was brilliant during his campaign during the elections, but we need some of those skills while in power, while dealing with oil subsidies, while dealing with fertilizer subsidies, while dealing with railway,
You mean
fares.
He should explain why this was necessary?
He needs to explain. Otherwise, after some time, he's not spoken on any of these critical issues. After some time, people might then say that, well, this is exactly what Manmohan Singh did. He just kept quiet. and other ministers spoke on his behalf. At some point, I think the biggest political decision that BJP will have to take is, and tell the people is, this bitter pill, which sections of the society will take more of the bitter pill.
But to be fair to him, he did warn that there would be a bitter pill. Are you saying he wasn't specific enough, or it was too vague?
No, bitter pill is right. But we have, our population profile, income profile is so varied, that the bottom 30 crore is below poverty line as per the 30 rupees per day, which nobody considers reasonable today. Then another 30 crore above that is poor. Then another 20 crores above that still wants subsidies. They say, no, we can't afford hikes in as suburban trains. Mumbai, why is Shiv Sena protesting today? Because suburban, some of the subsidies out of 26,000 crores, the bulk of the subsidies go to the suburban and short duration trains.
Let me just get the Shiv Sena. Shweta Parulekar of the Shiv Sena is with us from Mumbai tonight. Shweta Parulekar, the BJP says it's a tough decision, but it had to be taken. Now, is it then responsible politics in a sense of the Shiv Sena and the other parties to oppose this hike tooth and nail?
I think it is very important for Shiv Sena to oppose this simply because that we represent the common people, and if they don't have enough means to pay this rise, which is like 14%, we definitely understand the background towards this. It was already announced by the Congress and is being implemented by the present government, which is our government. So with that authority, our party president, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, has said that he will himself personally speak to Mr. Narendra Modi on this issue and try to resolve it. And there are different angles to this also, that the facilities for the commuters, there are about 75 lakh commuters who are commuting in Mumbai from the western suburbs to the downtown, and they are facing immense number of problems which have not been overcome for the last 60 years. So I think it's high time that we take a call on all this also, and since we are the allies, we have got a ground to speak, to represent the common people, and that is what Shiv Sena has done. There should be a rollback, or there should have been a gradual rise, something like that, or there should have been a commitment of the facilities which would be provided to these commuters.
But how do you address the fact that the railways are losing some 900 crores a month just on the passenger side? The actual losses are much more, Shweta Parulekar. So how does the Shiv Sena react to that? I mean, surely at some point there needs to be, the reason there's a sharp hike in rail fares is because so many governments every year have avoided a hike. So you've had one massive hike in one go.
So that is what we are objecting, that it was a massive hike. It's 14.2%, that's a massive hike. And I felt that on behalf of the party, what we were saying was that there should have been a gradual rise, and for the past 60 years or so, there is so much of non-performance on various issues, and railways is no different to this. So we want to find out that how we can actually find a solution for the common man.
Okay, let me just bring in the Congress here, and Sanjay Jha, with what face does the Congress really oppose this railway hike and demand a rollback, considering that it was your government that actually suggested it?
Nidhi, currently with my face, of course, but the truth of the matter is I have two objections to what the BJP has actually been saying and doing over the last couple of days. It's a standard double speak. I want to remind you of the letter that the current Prime Minister, when he was Gujarat Chief Minister, sent to then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh on two issues. Number one, he actually objected to the fact that there was an increase in freight rates before the railway budget. It was actually 2 months before, not 2 weeks before as it is the current case. And secondly, he talked about the fact that you should not increase rates because it's anti-democratic, it's anti-people, and it's brutally unfair. He's doing exactly the same. So I believe whether it's in the principle of commercial, kind of rationality, or whether it's in terms of maintaining Parliament's sanctity on both issues, the BJP is clearly having both his feet on two separate banana peels. The second point, I want to make this point here, that even when we increased our fares in 2013, it was after a period of almost a decade. I mean, I remember the kind of protest that took place when Mr. Bansal had announced those hikes in the passenger and freight rates. Now, end of day, one point that I would like to make here on your channel is that this government of Mr. Modi is ideologically very growth driven. And they have been talking about a foreign direct investment coming into railways. So my whole question to the BJP here is that if today you are increasing the price of 20 million, there are 20 million people who go on Indian railways on a day-to-day basis, including urban, suburban fares, etc. Then are they sweetening a deal for a potential foreign direct investment in the future? Is the common man paying for that particular, what they believe is an attractive opportunity for someone else to come in and take a look? And the second point is that end of day, this government needs to express itself very categorically. If it is anti a subsidy, what is it for? Is it going to be a bitter pill or is it going to be a better pill?
Clearly I'm asking, why are you asking for a rollback?
And I think today, if all political
I'm
parties
asking
are
about
protesting,
responsible politics. Sanjay,
I'll
ask the BJP about its change of stand. But just as a responsible political party, why are you asking for a rollback when it is indeed your government that said that there needs to be a rail hike?
Well, I'll tell you the reason why. Supposing if we were in government today, I think we would have probably tried to explore maybe many other collaterals that the railways have, whether it's in terms of, allowing foreign direct investment to come into certain part of railways, like, maybe maintenance, maybe just building of new lines, etc. This government seems to be in a remarkable hurry to just take the easy route out. I mean, that is what they have to answer. They've got a majority.
It was in your government. It was your government that said that increased passenger fares.
Let them take a call.
No, but Sanjay
Jha, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh on February 11 signed the paper saying that on May 1st the passenger rates can be increased. The Prime Minister said that Manmohan Singh ji owned that up. But still we are owning it. The prices.
Then let him answer that question. Why are you
Sanjay, I want to answer this question. First two bits.
Well,
just a second, Sanjay.
I want to make it very simple that it was under
I have
the
got
UPA.
all your questions.
Mr. Patra,
I have got all your questions,
Patra,
Sanjay. Let me put the answers now. Nidhi, let's understand the basic nature over here.
Let me finish.
Just a second.
Can you hear my answer first?
Okay, let's Sanjay, one more sentence.
When Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav was the railway minister, without increasing the fare, we had a profit in the railways. Railways had a historic profit without increasing passenger fares, etc. But there's no denying
what kind of historic profits the railway is going to fall short of all kind of things, and you're talking about historic profits. Please don't misguide this country, for God's sake. You have losses of 900 crore rupees per month, 30 crore rupees per day, 26,000 rupees from the free.
One second, Sanjay Jha, are you disowning? One second. Sanjay Jha, are you disowning what the previous Prime Minister signed off on as far as passenger fare hikes are concerned? Are you disowning that?
Well, let me tell you, I am not going to answer a hypothetical question, Nidhi. The truth of the matter
I'm asking you based on fact.
We discuss the various commercial aspects of the running of the railways.
He is right, because Manmohan Singh's signature is a hypothetical
No, it has to be a political answer as well, because this is a political hot potato. So let me answer the question.
Did your government sign off on the passenger fare hike or not?
If the BJP is following what they believe, if they believe, no, Nidhi, I am saying if BJP believes they are following a UPA recommendation, then they should keep our governors. Then the Prime Minister should not ask the NDMA people to resign.
Very quick reply. I want to bring the Trinamool Congress.
He has asked me for 1 hour.
The fact that Mr. Modi, when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, did oppose the rail fare hike at that time. He also said it was it was against the spirit of Parliament, because it happened just before the rail budget at that time. Now, how the BJP can't have it both ways either, neither can the Congress.
No, but both
the point is, irresponsibly, every party in this country opposes fare hikes for their own political ends.
No, can I begin with a theorem that, look, a strong government always protects the country, weak governments protect themselves. We had a weak coalition compulsive government for 10 long years, which were always having this coalition compulsions. That is the reason as to why for 10 long years there was no hike. Even the Congress did not have a minister in railway. It was Pawan Bansal who was the first Congress minister in the tenure, and we saw what he did. The question over here is, Mr. Modi then rightly opposed in the sense that before the budget, the whole thing was presented. But over here, as I have been repeatedly pointing out, this decision was already taken in the previous regime. If Sanjay Jha calls Manmohan Singh's signature of February 11th as a hypothetical one, I agree with him, because apart from the Gandhis, they consider rest all are hypothetical signatures. But still, it only thing that technically was done was withdrawal of the countermand which was signed on May 16th, because the then minister, Mr. Kharge, developed a cold feet.
I think you're passing the buck here and saying you didn't have a choice, and I don't think
but still I stand with the decision that, well, yes, this was required. This tough decision was required. Remember, Nidhi, one thing.
With the mandate that you guys have.
Yes, that's why I say our job is to protect the country. Our job is to protect the railways.
You can't say that we
cannot
had
pass
to do
the
it.
buck.
No, you can't say you didn't have a choice because the previous government did it.
No, it was already.
That's a weak argument.
This is no weak argument. I mean, governance continues in continuum. A decision which was taken by the previous government,
really?
A file which
what
was
happened
signatured.
To FDI and
we can change the decision.
Really? FDI and multi-brand
retail? I do not say that we will not be, but the railway board was given a go-ahead sign without even telling. They could announce that on May 1st automatically the fares would go up.
Let me ask Shugata Roy. Okay, Mr. Shugata Roy of the TMC is joining us from Kolkata.
No.
Mr. Roy, one second, gentlemen, please. There are other political parties here who have a voice as well.
That is Congress's problem.
One moment. Mr. Shugata Roy, the argument that the BJP-led government then gives is that they had no choice in the matter. You are a veteran parliamentarian, sir. Did they or did they not have an option?
Thanks, Nidhi, for calling me after 20 minutes. I've been twiddling my thumb for all this period. The BJP, of course, had a choice, but it had to show its face. BJP is basically a pro-capitalist, anti-people party, and by raising the railway fares and freight rates, even before the railway budget is presented, it has shown its true face. Like the Congress made a mistake in saying that all deficits have to be countered by reducing subsidies, the BJP is going the same way, and it's a technical question whether the countermand given by Mallikarjun Kharge on the decision to raise railway fares should have been lifted now. The whole point is the government could have kept the countermand, but instead they decided to raise the fares. And we have Arun Jaitley trying to support the hike in railway fares by saying that they are implementing the UPA government's demand, UPA government's decision. All I have to say that Trinamool Congress is totally opposed to these fare and freight rate hikes. At a time when Trinamool Congress was in the railway ministry, we did not hike any fares. Mamata Banerjee was railway minister twice, for 1.5 years each time. In all the budgets she presented, no railway fares were increased, and even up to 2012, Trinamool Congress did not raise railway fares.
Yeah, well, you had a railway minister who tried to do that and was sacked.
Please listen.
Mr. Roy, my point is how long can the railways bleed?
Because please listen to me. Please listen to me. I am saying that Trinamool Congress believes that in any developing country, passenger transportation has to be subsidized. In a country where 20 million people travel by train every day and 75% of whom are poor, raising railway fares adds a direct burden. In fact, Mamata Banerjee introduced the Ijjat, a 25 rupees.
But Mr. Roy, how the question is how long the railways will continue to bleed. At the same time, our trains are in pathetic condition. We don't have proper safety measures for our railways. Where is that money going to come from? At some point, someone has to politically bite the bullet and take a brave decision. At some point, it has to happen. I just want to bring in Mr. Ketkar. Mr. Ketkar, let's just look at.
Please allow me one more sentence.
Yes, okay, sir, go ahead.
Please allow me one more sentence. This bite the bullet smart words do not mean anything. There are enough alternative ways of raising finance. For instance, by increasing railway advertisement revenues even in the running rail cars. By utilizing the huge railway land and property lying everywhere, which is being encroached upon, which is being wasted. To tax the poor passenger, that too, suburban railway passengers, just for the purpose of reducing the deficit in the railways is bad economics, it's bad politics,